Hey, I went to replace my Ring Video Doorbell Pro and I noticed it changed. A little background. This one on the left is the Ring Video Doorbell Pro. That means it has to be hardwired into a existing wired doorbell system in December of 2016. And it worked great for the first year, and then it started to get real flaky and couldn't do the live chat thing. And went round and round with Ring support, and basically they said, it's out of warranty, you just got to buy a new one. So I bought this new one, and I thought I would just swap them, because there'd be no difference. And there's not really any significant difference. The wiring is the same, but I was like, wait a second, this isn't identical. And so I started looking, and I think there's actually some subtle differences here, and so I wanted to show you what they were. From the outside, they look identical, and there's no indication like, on the website that this is the Ring Video Doorbell Pro 2 or anything like that. But there's clearly some differences that are not just a different production run or something. So I wanted to do a few things. I'm not sure how well this new one's going to work, but maybe we'll see. So from the outside, they're basically the same. They're exactly the same size as far as I can tell. If I put them on these little grid lines, they look like they're exactly the same width, exactly the same height, and they should just swap in and out. So I should be able to just put this new one in and have no problems. But if you notice, the button is a little thicker, a little more proud on the new one, a little more bulbous. So I don't know if that's to make it easier to see or what, or easier to hit without hitting the rest of the doorbell. I don't know. They also either, I think that's just a spot of gunk on that side, but it looks like there's some other little sensor there. Looks like maybe a light sensor to tell how bright it is. Don't really know. This one's obviously a lot cleaner, the one on the right, because it's brand new. All the little IR LEDs look the same. That all looks the same. What is this? They moved this. I think they may have moved it to the side, because it's not there. I think that's the speaker, maybe? Moved to the side. Sorry, I had to cut away. I showed the barcode that would let you probably link to my doorbell, so I'm going to keep that covered. Which they moved to the side. And so this little button on the side is now orange. Before it was black, which made it basically impossible to see. You just had to kind of know it was there and see the direction. So hey, that's a nice little change. Let's see. They moved some of the stuff, basically all the stickers that were on the back, and that showed the, let's see here, it showed the serial numbers and stuff to make it identifiable. They moved from the back, where you'd have to take it off to find it again. They moved it to the side, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, on the back, they also added this, let's see if I can do this without showing that. They added, it looks like a heatsink, these little ridges. That's typically what you see on computers or like on a heatsink. There's no fan, but there's at least some ridges to help with it, which is interesting because the original one here, the 2016 version of the Pro, started to get real hot. I live in Texas, so things getting hot is not surprising, but this thing would be hot even in the wintertime and just would get like hot to the touch where, like, not where it would burn you, but it was pretty hot, like very clearly something was wrong hot. And they're like, yeah, that happens. I'm like, I don't think that's supposed to happen, but it wasn't a whole lot I could do about it. So definitely a few little changes. Let's see. I think the top is basically the same. There's a little change to, no, it's the same because that's where the connectors are. But you can see here, there's like no heat sink, and on this side, very clearly you can see how those heat sinks come up. So I'm guessing that'll help keep it a lot cooler, which will be nice. But yeah, a couple subtle little differences. This one has a little, the new one has a little divot in it to go into there. So I don't know if the covers are actually different. I'm gonna have to try the new covers. I was hoping to just use the same cover I had. Not that it would matter too much, but interesting. I just think it's interesting that there's been no big public announcement that this is the Video Pro Doorbell 2, but it's very clearly a different hardware revision. I don't know if the actual internals are any different. I'm not going to crack these things open and look at the chips or anything inside, but I may open this one up just to see what's in it. So keep an eye out for that video, because this thing is almost worthless, but at this point. So I just want to do a quick comparison of the 2016 Ring Video Doorbell Pro, I think that's the whole name, and the 2019 Ring Pro. A little different. So we'll see. Hopefully the new one works better. So have a good one. Hey, just a couple more things that I noticed as I was finishing up the install. They did not seem to change the little helper tool, the little handle, although the printing is in a subtly different spot. But they did change a couple of things. This little tool they gave you, this is the original one from 2016. One, the Phillips head shaft is slightly longer. The overall length seems to be the same, but they made the narrow part a little longer. Probably makes it just a little easier, whatever. But they changed the security screw on the bottom. I noticed it was a little different. The actual screw itself they provide used to be just a standard, very small star bit. Now it is a not quite as small, but also small because it has the little security post in it that you need one of these security ones for. So it's a slightly bigger one, and you can't use just a standard star bit. You need the slightly larger security version with the hole in it. They also provided something that I ended up buying, the angle brackets. This is the one to tilt it down. They also included one to tilt it out a little bit. I actually already used that one, so just showing, but it does come with those now instead of having to buy them separate, so that's kind of interesting. And then to go along with the security screw change, they also changed how it is recessed. Instead of before, there was this, you could see the little security screw, which I'm not sure who would notice that, but whatever. Just one of those subtle design things. Like, hey, we got the room, just go ahead and start recessing it. So somewhere between 2016 and 2019, they decided to change that. So these are not 100% the same as what was there, and the little vents on the side. One I think might be for a speaker, another one might be for heat, and like I said, the heat sink on the back. But the actual little handles are basically the same. These little tools are just a little different, so you can't just swap it without any effort. Because of how that heat sink, I actually had to switch which little mounting screws I used at the top and bottom. So I switched over to using this angle bracket. So it basically turned something that I was expecting to take 10 minutes because nothing had changed. Just unscrew the old one and attach the new one, and it would take, I don't know, about an hour to go through and find all those changes. But I also shot a video sharing with you. So if you have a 2016 ring, you might want to think about upgrading to a 2019 ring, or if you think that you can just buy a 2019 ring and swap them out, it's not quite that simple. There are a few little differences. Now, have a good one.